According to the 2002 National Electrical Code, it is not permitted to connect a dimmer to a duplex receptacle. This prohibition stems from several potential safety and operational concerns. Firstly, the primary issue revolves around the fact that dimmers are typically designed and rated for specific types of loads, most commonly incandescent or LED lighting. Connecting a general-purpose duplex receptacle to a dimmer introduces the risk of unpredictable loads being plugged into the receptacle. These loads could include appliances, tools, or other devices that are not compatible with the dimmer's design parameters. This incompatibility can lead to overheating, damage to the dimmer, and potentially even fire hazards. Secondly, dimmers often rely on specific wiring configurations and grounding requirements to function safely and effectively. When a duplex receptacle is connected, it is intended to provide a consistent and reliable power source for a variety of devices. Introducing a dimmer into the circuit disrupts this consistency and can compromise the grounding path, leading to electrical shock hazards. The 2002 NEC, like subsequent editions, emphasizes the importance of maintaining a clear separation between lighting circuits and general-purpose receptacle circuits. This separation ensures that lighting systems can be controlled independently without affecting the power supply to other essential devices. This separation also simplifies troubleshooting and maintenance, as problems within the lighting circuit will not directly impact the operation of receptacles and the devices connected to them. Thirdly, the use of a dimmer on a duplex receptacle creates a situation where the voltage supplied to the receptacle can fluctuate significantly. Dimmers work by reducing the average voltage applied to a circuit, which in turn reduces the brightness of the connected lights. This fluctuation in voltage can be problematic for many electronic devices that require a stable and consistent power supply. Devices plugged into a dimmed receptacle may malfunction, experience reduced lifespan, or even be damaged by the inconsistent voltage. Furthermore, many modern electronic devices contain sensitive components that are susceptible to damage from voltage fluctuations or surges. Connecting these devices to a dimmed receptacle significantly increases the risk of damage and premature failure. Fourthly, the installation of a dimmer on a duplex receptacle can also lead to code compliance issues beyond the immediate prohibition. For example, the 2002 NEC outlines specific requirements for the type and rating of receptacles that must be used in various locations throughout a building. These requirements are designed to ensure that receptacles can safely handle the expected load and that they are appropriate for the intended use. Connecting a dimmer to a receptacle can violate these requirements, as the receptacle may no longer be suitable for the range of devices that could be plugged into it. In addition, the NEC specifies the types of wiring methods and overcurrent protection that must be used for receptacle circuits. These requirements are intended to protect the wiring from overheating and to prevent electrical fires. Introducing a dimmer into the circuit can alter the electrical characteristics of the wiring and can compromise the effectiveness of the overcurrent protection. Fifthly, another important consideration is the potential for confusion and misuse. If a dimmer is connected to a duplex receptacle, it may not be immediately obvious to users that the receptacle is being controlled by a dimmer. This lack of clarity can lead to users plugging in devices that are not compatible with the dim voltage, resulting in damage or malfunction. To prevent this confusion, the NEC requires that dimmers be clearly labeled and that they only control lighting circuits. This labeling helps to ensure that users are aware of the dimmer's function and that they do not inadvertently plug in incompatible devices. Sixthly, the NEC addresses the proper methods for controlling lighting in a space. Dimmers are intended to be used with dedicated lighting circuits, and the code provides specific guidelines for the installation and wiring of these circuits. These guidelines cover topics such as the type of wiring that must be used, the size of the conductors, and the overcurrent protection requirements. By following these guidelines, electricians can ensure that lighting circuits are installed safely and that they meet the requirements of the NEC. Seventhly, it is also important to consider the impact of a dimmer on the overall efficiency of an electrical system. Dimmers can introduce harmonic distortion into the electrical system, which can reduce the efficiency of other devices and can increase energy consumption. To minimize these effects, the NEC requires that dimmers meet certain performance standards and that they be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. These standards help to ensure that dimmers operate efficiently and that they do not negatively impact the performance of other devices on the circuit. Eighthly, it is worth noting that there are some exceptions to the general rule prohibiting the use of dimmers on duplex receptacles. For example, in some cases, a dimmer may be allowed if it is specifically designed and rated for use with a particular type of device that is plugged into the receptacle. However, these exceptions are rare and they are subject to strict requirements. Before installing a dimmer on a duplex receptacle, it is essential to consult the NEC and to obtain approval from a qualified electrical inspector. Ninthly, in general, the safest and most code-compliant approach is to keep lighting circuits and receptacle circuits separate. This separation ensures that each type of circuit can function independently and that there is no risk of interference or incompatibility. If you need to control the lighting in a space, it is best to install a dedicated lighting circuit with a dimmer switch. And if you need to provide power to other devices, it is best to install a separate receptacle circuit. Tenthly, when working with electrical systems, it is always important to prioritize safety. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is essential to follow all applicable codes and regulations. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, it is best to hire a qualified electrician to perform the work. A qualified electrician will have the knowledge and experience to install electrical systems safely and to ensure that they meet the requirements of the NEC. By adhering to these principles and following the guidelines of the 2002 National Electrical Code, you can help to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical systems. Remember, when in doubt, always consult the NEC and seek the advice of a qualified electrical professional.